Hi everyone, so I thought I'm gonna make another video or something more kind of like talking. It's still like the day of where I'm recording the celebration of my first anniversary of this YouTube channel. So I was thinking maybe let's talk about something and just kind of yeah, do this thing that I just kind of said in the other video. That is my downfall of getting crazy into some idea and then no, but I part of me still kind of just wishes that someday something will happen, or aliens, no, I don't know, that something will happen that will just wipe all of the ideas existing this day. And again, even right now, me talking about something and worrying about whatever that I'm going to talk about something, it's kind of weird because I don't know, I feel I was just kind of watching life growing up, this situation that world is at right now. I didn't really have the influence really on, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, and more of ways of how people, I don't know, celebrates I don't know, traditions or whatever, you know what I mean, in the wider kind of range. But it's kind of funny because so I guess I should be kind of able to kind of and also this is one of the things that I kind of feel kind of when I was younger also, that I've always kind of felt instead of kind of learning more from younger people, people who are just kind of have a fresh perspective or whatever, it's kind of more you know, those young people have to go to school and be, I almost want to say indoctrinated in a way. I don't know. I mean, I also I'm afraid of using words because there's can be so much attachment to behind certain words. It's in a way everyone speaks a different language within that sense, you know, and I don't know, so it's kind of I'm afraid I'm going to use some word that my definition is different than somebody else's. I think I already kind of said that also in some video on this channel, but so yeah, in a way I feel people should be more kind of learning from people newborn here or whatever, who has fresh perspective. You know, it's kind of there's a storm. Sorry, it's appreciation for the storm. It's kind of if you can work on something very hard, I don't know, let's say sometimes it's good for you to take a break or something, right? To kind of clear your mind or something. I don't know, you know, it's a hypothetical example or whatever, right? I'm not saying that everyone feels like that. So another thing that just kind of annoys me is I don't know, I did at the same thing because I feel you know, I was influenced, I guess, in some way by this world, obviously. I always kind of wanted to not be, and I'm losing track of what I want. Okay, so yes, I was thinking people should kind of be more kind of learning from the children in a way, because they can have this, well, they can, but then they go to school and whatever, but then again, everyone, you know, whatever. I'm probably definitely always making some kind of mistakes in expressing myself, or I change perspective, but whatever. So what I'm kind of saying is that you know, if you have fresh perspective on things, you know, why do we why isn't that more kind of valuable? Especially because still nobody knows, right, where we all come from, what is this whole thing or whatever. So I'm just kind of I don't, it just annoys me that I feel there's we are kind of at this point for a longer time. I would notice that I get taking good things from things that are already been created and stuff like that, but I feel I'm repeating myself. I might have talked about that before, but it's kind of I understand keeping stuff that works. I'm not saying erase everything that people did or whatever, but I just feel we are at that point where we stick to too many things that are ruining us like right now. And also, like, above everything, I just always think that the fact that people on like physical level, in a format of like their inside, meaning like their stomach doesn't have enough food to digest, their actual like body from inside, like the brain and everything, can't function because they don't have even those like basics of life, what I call, they even like live like a life, if that makes sense. So that's like one thing that I just completely could never ever understand. I'm the kind of kid who, if I was a child or whatever, and I heard about like smartphones or whatever, phones with camera or whatever, things like that, be a new thing, whatever, I thought that like, so now I'm gonna be like sad because I heard that other people, what I used to think that school would be like, which also obviously turned out to be a little bit different. I'm not saying that everything has to be, you know, like as like I imagine it's, you know what I mean, but like so I was thinking like, oh, so I'm gonna be sad because I know that people experience school and that way, you know, where you go to school and whatever, like have classes or whatever. And I thought like, well, it was such an obvious thing for me. I was kind of born like that naturally, so I guess that's why I'm like mad a lot of times about certain things. But then again, I don't know all of the places in the world, so you know what I mean. So maybe some of the places are gonna more like what I would feel is kind of more right or whatever. But what I was trying to say is that like I would kind of feel kind of sad because I thought, well, since there's gonna be technology that allows, you know, to film certain stuff and like watch videos, whatever, so I thought that school would stop existing the way that it was normally, and people would just kind of record like some form of like classes the way that, I mean, these days, right, people do that, right? I mean, I guess there's obviously still a traditional school with like stationery and things like that, but I just thought right away that like that would be the thing to do, because I felt like, well, if you don't have to use the building because you have like the technology to kind of connect with people, then I thought that, you know, the people would just kind of like leave the schools and maybe change them for environment for people who doesn't have home and things like that. Like that was my immediate, well, I don't know, I don't remember that well, but like that was kind of like a thing that I would think that people would do. Surprise, I guess no. Obviously people, you know, so like I don't know, you know, like obviously it's, I guess, like different, but like, you know, I would always feel like people at heart would be so heartbroken that there are people who doesn't have those basics of life, that little, like, you know, cutting yourself off from like, I guess, the luxury that, I mean, I don't know, I still feel like it's kind of like personal preferences. I guess some people would prefer to kind of go to those schools or whatever in format of videos rather than actually going to the building. It's whatever, but like I would just like think that that, you know, even if somehow the learning process would hurt a little bit from it, I just would feel that people would have such a, you know, like strong hearts and compassion to those people who are having way worse, and overall the goodness of all the people is more important, that it would kind of go through that kind of concept of like not using the buildings when you don't have to, and changing them for the environment, for people. Can you like can you believe that like there are still people who just like doesn't have like a home, a roof over their head, like, and then like I was like growing up and like being expected to like be happy, act happy, like why are you happy, blah blah blah. Like I would kind of feel like, how can you expect from people to feel happy when it's like, you know, like we kind of like silently we're kind of being fed by this kind of like ignorance, being okay in a form of like not feeling compassion to like the bigger picture. Like I guess that's why I'm kind of sad, because I always felt that kind of like that the world would be more kind of like one, and then like you grow up and you hear about certain things and it makes me feel kind of dead inside to kind of go along with that kind of like mindset that I kind of gained growing up. I don't know. So there's like a lot of like little things like that that sometimes I would kind of remember and be like, that's crazy that like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know how to live life. I didn't even choose to have this life. I don't know nothing, but like, it's just like, I feel like differently people would be directed in different ways that things could be better. I don't know. That's just kind of how I feel. But yeah, I can't, like, me as like a little person, human here, like, I don't know, like, I can't really do much, I feel like, but, so it's kind of like, I guess in a way torturing my own self by being mad about those things. I try, you know, I guess, like, you know, create some art about that sometimes, and like, kind of express that kind of like feelings or whatever, but yeah, like, I don't know. So anyways, I guess that's gonna be all. Yeah, so wishing everything well, and goodbye.